What up, Earl? Welcome to a new episode of the Brand Janeau Show. As you know, I am Brand Janeau, and like always, on all podcast platforms everywhere. It is Brand Janeau Show. Social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Brand Janeau Show, and of course, YouTube channel, Brandon Janeau Show. Man, shout out to everybody that's been subscribing, comments, and everything. I know I've been fucking lacking. I'm sorry, but I'm getting back into it, trying to get my mind back into it, trying to get my body back into it. Been ripping and running, but there's no excuse. Because I promise you guys I'll work my ass off and get back to it. So let's get into it, man. So tonight is the debate, and it's artists versus artists. Love doing this. I've done it. What I think this will be the third one I've done. Yeah, I've done three. I think Usher, Chris Brown, Ti, and Luda, and now tonight's two competitors, two opponents: Jeezy, the Snowman, versus Rick Ross, the Boss. If you know anything about the this debate now, artist versus artist is completely different than when I do my debates. Even when I do verses versus verses, when it comes to albums, that has already been done. So all I do is just pick my favorite album from that person, from those two artists, and I just debate them. This is completely different. This is artist versus artist. So I literally, if you've seen those two episodes, the sixth one is always a different one. The sixth one is always a different one. The first five is obvious, but the sixth one is always different. Different. So what I do is I take the debut album, the debut single, uh, my favorite album from that person, uh, the the popular song from that person, my favorite song from that person. Like I said, a sixth category will always be up for grabs. Maybe they got something in common. Maybe tonight, it's a mixtape that I loved. Uh, and sometimes it's like what was the big, you know, critically acclaimed album. I think I did that for Ti and Luda. Then the other one, I think it was my favorite something for Chris Brown and Usher. I forgot which one I did, what I did for them. But but yeah, um, but that is how I do the artist versus artist debates. It's completely different than the album versus album debates when I do verses. So let's get into it, man. Artists versus artists. Jeezy versus Rick Ross. Let's start it off. So, like I said, first the first verses is very simple, and it is debut album versus debut album. And for Jeezy, the debut album was Thug Motivation 101. The other one was Port of Miami from Rick Ross. Now, both of these albums are classics. Amazing debut projects. Incredible debut albums. Anybody that tells you that that Thug Motivation 101 is one of the greatest, what isn't one of the greatest debut rap albums of all time, you are fucking delusional. Jeezy's Thug Motivation 101 is still one of the best projects that ever dropped. Um, and you can say the same thing about Port of Miami for Rick Ross. I don't think it gets the same, love that maybe a Thug Motivation would, but Port of Miami was that shit. People forget in '06 when he dropped this bitch. It was fucking solidified. Like too many classes on Port of Miami. I mean, you had Push It to the Limit, you had Hustling, you had uh I get it for the low. I get it for the low. Him and Jazzy Faye. Blow. Oh man, with Cool and Dre. Oh my, yo man, that Hustler remix with Jeezy and Hove. Like, uh, I'm a G with Wayne and Briscoe. Yeah, Port Miami had them fucking hits, nigga. You kidding me? I'm not a human. I'm just human. I think with Rock, oh man, like yo, Port of Miami was that shit, bro. Like people forget how great Port of Miami really fucking was, man. Uh, and same thing with Thug Motivation 101. Thug Motivation 101, you had them what? You had Bottom of the Map. You had Get Your Mind Right. Soul Survivor. You had classics on that motherfucker. Trap or Die. You had Air Forces. Like, bro, you had fucking classics. Go Crazy, my nigga. Like, bro, you had classics on this motherfucking project, bro. Like, damn, when I actually put it into perspective now, I'm like, oh Jesus, yo, fuck, damn. I just realized that shit. Goddamn. Yo, yeah, man. Both of these projects are fucking dope, man. Iconic fucking projects, man. And for that alone, I'm going with Jeezy, man. Thug Motivation 101. It's one of my favorite projects by Jeezy. It is my favorite project by Jeezy. I love Port of Miami by Rick Ross. But Thug Motivation 101 might be the greatest debut, one of the greatest debut rap albums of all time. I love Port of Miami. I think it's also one of the greatest debut albums, but not like Thug Motivation 101. It really isn't, man. And I feel like Thug Motivation 101 actually set the blueprint for why Port of Miami is so legendary in my eyes because of how Jeezy created Thug Motivation 101. So yeah. Now we go into the debut singles. Now for Jeezy, it was a Then What featuring Manny Fresh. That beat, that cadence. So boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that Manny Fresh was that Manny Fresh nigga is whew, man. Manny Fresh is one of my favorite producers of all time. So yeah, I got a different like love and respect for Manny Fresh. That's like obvious, but yeah. And then for Rick Ross, it was hustling. Yeah. Hustling, 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 hustling. I fuck what and then what. But I don't think it gets its proper respect. Not like hustling. Hustling was every fucking where. Hustle real hard. Hustle, hustle real hard. Like hustling gets a different type of love and respect. So I'm gonna go with hustling on this one, man. What do you say? I got a girl that's 22. We in room 222. Yo, yeah, man. The next one is my favorite albums by them, and that is Thug Motivation 101 and Teflon Don. And I'm gonna go Thug Motivation 101, like I said. But Teflon Don is one of the best Rick Ross albums ever. It's short, it's concise, but it's also probably the best Rick Ross album that he's ever done. Like I might have to down that hill, but I would down that hill. But Thug Motivation 101, like I said earlier, like it's one of the best projects that Jeezy that defined Jeezy's career of how great he was with Motivation 101. Let's get it. Track 4. Well, next one is Port of Miami. Oh, is their biggest single. So it's Put On by Jeezy, that's obvious, versus Aston Martin Music by Rick Ross. I love Put On. I loved it when it first dropped. Oh, I love this song so much. I thought it was fucking fire. Oh, I love this song when it first came out. Even with Kanye with the auto tune. You know what I'm saying? Dope ass fucking song. But I fuck with Aston Martin music more. I fuck with Aston Martin music more. I know when this episode come out, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Could you make Aston Martin music to me is probably the best Rick Ross song he's ever done. His lyrics wasn't over satired or anything like that. Like it wasn't so over the top where you had to be like, what the fuck you just say? And then Drake and Christina Michelle singing on that. Even the Drake part, I had the Paris Motion music version of Aston Martin where Drake's verse was actually on it. So I used to listen to this song on a school bus every day going to school. So yeah, I have a different love for Aston Martin music. Not saying Put On is not one of the best songs Jesus ever done, but I just have a different love and respect for Aston Martin music, man. Track 5. Next category. My favorite single by them, and that's "Go Crazy" by Jeezy versus "Tears of Joy" by Rick Ross featuring CeeLo Green, and "Go Crazy" features Jay Z. And I just realized how much I hate doing this to myself because I really hate doing this shit to myself. I do this too much to myself because this is literally my two favorite songs by Jay Z and Rick Ross. I have a different love for both of these songs. I hear two different emotions when I hear both of these songs. It just, oh shit, this is hard. Mm-mm-mm. Man, CeeLo Green singing that hook, bro. That fucking hook by CeeLo, man, is so fucking phenomenal. But I'm gonna go crazy. Guess who's Bizak? Still smell the blow on my clothes. Like give it that Krispy Kreme, nigga cooking them moles like hard shoes, nigga tossing them O's. Gotta re up, gotta recycle the flow. I'm emotional. Yo, ask rules around me, so what's realer? About the Skrilla, call me a ghost face killer. Ugh. Kinda hard to be drug free, but Georgia Power won't give a nigga lights free. Switch hustlers have been killing them ever since. They pay to tell the truth, dog. It only makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, go crazy, nigga. I gotta give it to it, nigga. Go crazy, nigga. Yo, go crazy, my nigga. I gotta give it to it, man. Let's bring me to category 6, man, and that is mixtape. Trap or Die versus Rich Forever for Rick Ross. Damn, Trap or Die, Jeezy. Rich Forever, Rick Ross. Ooh, shit. God damn it. Mm. Trap or Die is a legendary album, mixtape. It's a project that not too many people don't know. Like, it's, bro, it solidified G's before the Motivation 101 ever came out. That's why so many people were like, no, this nigga gonna be the next one. But Rich Forever, excuse me, Rick Ross was already at his height of his, rapping powers at this time, and Rich Forever just solidified it. That might be the greatest Rick Ross. That might be one of the greatest mixtapes. I'm gonna definitely do a top 10 mixtape list. I gotta do one because Rich Forever is one of my favorite mixtapes. Trap or Die too, but Rich Forever is one of my favorite. High Definition, uh, Rich Forever, uh, him and Future on that bitch. Him and Ring Ring with him and Future. You had Fuck 'em with 2 Chainz and Wale. Oh nigga, like yo, bro, that fucking mixtape. I got the keys to the crib with Styles P. Ooh, nigga. Yeah, nigga. A lot of Trap or Die, you heard it on Thug Motivation. So, but this project was like solidified. Like Rick Ross killed this whole. He had quality songs that should have been on the album on a mixtape. And this is also the mixtape where we had Stay Scheming. So yeah, this is the fucking mixtape, man. Let's get into it, man. So both won the category. Both won 3 out of the 6. So we got a tie. We have a tie, clearly. So who wins the artist versus artist debate? For a long time, I would tell people Rick Ross is in my top 5 rappers of all time because I really love Rick Ross and I really fucked with Rick Ross. A lot of Rick Ross albums were not hit and misses. Like them bitches were consistently hot for a long stretch of time. From Port of Miami to I forgot the second project he dropped. In the third one was Deeper Than Rap. I forgot the second one he dropped. Somebody could tell me when this comes out. The second project Rick Ross, the second album Rick Ross dropped right after Port of Miami. I forgot that next album. Uh, Triller, Triller, yeah. So Port of Miami, Triller, Deeper Than Rap, uh, Teflon Don. You know, even in his later stages of his career, like Mastermind and Port of Miami 2 and even God Forgives and I Don't, like even that project, you know what I'm saying? Like Rick Ross has had a lot of consistent albums, even though people try to play him like he ain't had that, but the man has had a lot of consistent albums, man. And one of the reasons why I say he's one of my favorite rappers, he was one of my favorite rappers for a long time, man. But as I've gotten older, the perspective has changed. My perspective on what it is. And I've always said Jeezy one of my favorite rappers too, but my perspective has changed. And I feel like Jeezy's impact is felt more than Rick Ross's. I'm not talking about like Meat Mill, I'm not talking about Wale. I'm talking about the impact of Jeezy. The Can't Ban a Snowman t-shirts. Niggas literally got kicked out of school for wearing shit like that. That wasn't a joke. That really happened. Jeezy might not have the artist, you know, trajectory of a lot of these guys like Meek and Wale and them, but Jeezy's impact is felt more in the game. And that is why, even if you don't think it is, because a lot of people would tell you if I love Gucci, you didn't like Jeezy. Why you don't like Jeezy? Because Gucci was beefing with him. That's Jeezy's impact. Jeezy's impact is that. Like a lot of young niggas didn't like Jeezy in Atlanta because they fucked with Gucci so much. But it made you go listen to Jeezy. I'm pretty sure it did. Jeezy's one of those dudes, man, and I am giving it to Jeezy. I grew up on Jeezy. I grew up on Ross too, but Jeezy was the first one that literally solidified, like, nah, nigga, trap music. I know T.I. said he maybe created it, but Jeezy solidified it, and that's the difference. So Jeezy wins artist versus artist. The next artist versus artist debate might be a good old one. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it because I gotta do it. So I'm gonna do it. And that is very simple. The next artist versus artist debate is The Weeknd versus Bruno Mars. Oh, it's going down. Oh, it's going down. Till next time, I am Brandon Janeau. This is the debate. This is artist versus artist. Jeezy wins. Shout out to Jeezy. Shout out to Rick Ross. Go listen to their discographies. Listen to their music. Listen to the mixtapes. Everything. And I hope you guys enjoy. Till next time. Peace.